Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to take a closer look at Microsoft. There are reports that OpenAI and Microsoft are reportedly planning a $100 billion spend on a data center project for an AI supercomputer. First, if it's $100 billion, we know who's pretty much going to pay the bill. I don't think OpenAI is going to pay much of that. It's most likely going to be a Microsoft investment. And on today's episode, I obviously want to take a closer look at what we know based on reports and just my overall thoughts on who can definitely benefit from this space in forms of GPUs. Because if you're spending that much money, you're going to build a huge supercomputer. And if you're building a huge supercomputer, we can kind of guess based on current markets right now who might be a big receiver of a huge order. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
So today is Good Friday, and to anybody who celebrates, hope you're spending great time with the family. The market was closed today, and we can see that Microsoft was sitting at roughly $420 on the market yesterday. Year to date, Microsoft is doing great, up roughly 13.4%. In the past year or so, the stock is up roughly 48%. So Microsoft has definitely been a huge player here in the AI market. The main reason is they have this huge partnership with OpenAI, and they are one of the biggest customers of Nvidia's H100. So when we start to see reports like this that OpenAI and Microsoft are reportedly planning a $100 billion data center project for an AI supercomputer, we can already start to guess that, hey, look, one of the big players that's going to make a lot of money here is Nvidia. And let me say, in the reports, it does showcase that Microsoft might be looking at ways to kind of reduce its dependency of NVIDIA. But if you're building a supercomputer at these levels, based on Microsoft, they do have their own AI accelerator that they announced about a little less than a year ago, and they have their own CPU. But NVIDIA is releasing new products almost on a yearly basis. And if you're spending that kind of money, you're going to be spending it on the top player. And based on the current market trends, unless Microsoft is hiding something insane from its own semiconductor solution unit, then I'm going to guess most of the GPUs that are going to go into this supercomputer are going to come from NVIDIA. So if the reports are true, I do believe this is great news for NVIDIA shareholders, as this is not the first time we've seen big cloud service providers announce huge supercomputers built with NVIDIA's platform. I mean, late last year, late in 2023, perfect example is Amazon during their AWS reInvent event, where I believe it was on December, AWS announced that they were going to build one of the largest supercomputers, and that's going to be called Project Sieba, which is known for the largest tree in Amazon, and is going to host roughly 16,384 GH200 superchips to process AI workloads at scale. So it's not new for NVIDIA, and NVIDIA has mentioned plenty of times that obviously they build GPUs, but they know how to build supercomputers and they know how to build data centers. So again, I'm going to guess most of the money in forms of hardware for AI acceleration is going to go to NVIDIA. Before we go any further, I just want to say thank you all for the amazing support we are getting in this channel. We're closing into 40,000 subs. That is insane. So if you haven't and you are enjoying the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Finally, if you want to support this channel a little bit more, check out my special offer at fool.com/Jose. Now back to today's episode. Now, what I thought was pretty interesting is the project is expected to be called Stargate, and Stargate. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of there's that Stargate show that came out. My uncle used to watch it a lot. I personally never watched it, but I went off to Grok here in X platform and kind of asked, "Hey, why do you think this supercomputer would be called Stargate?" And there are a few reasons, but the main thing is Stargate is known for a door to the future and the passage to discovery, right? So we can see if Microsoft and OpenAI are filled with maybe some Stargate nerds, this could be a great way to showcase that, hey, look, this supercomputer is the gateway for where AI is going to take us next. And this is pretty exciting, right? Because AI continues to evolve, and we're going to definitely see a lot of solutions, not only in your typical workspace, but things like healthcare, things like energy improvements, that AI solutions are going to continue to grow, robotics, autonomous driving. So who knows? Maybe Stargate is the gateway that we need to go to the next level of AI compute. So that's pretty exciting for people to know, right? I'm super excited about this project. So based on the reports, this is going to feature millions of GPUs, and like I mentioned, millions of GPUs. I don't believe they would go with AMD if we're looking at this, especially if you're connecting this amount of GPUs together. You need a platform that's able to do this at this type of scale. And I believe Nvidia will probably be one of the top players, like I mentioned, unless Microsoft has something hidden under their sleeves and they're going to announce in the next few quarters, in the next few years. It does seem like Stargate will be a US based supercomputer, and that gets me super excited as a United States citizen and a United States resident, because it just continues to show that we are definitely leading this AI race. It's almost as cool as the space race to some extent, right? Obviously, I wasn't alive for the space race, but this AI race gets me super excited, and I get even more excited when I see US companies dominating right now. Based on the reports, it does seem like executives are hoping to have this running by 2028, but it's gonna be like a multi-phase system. They mentioned it's about a five-phase system, phase 5 system, and some phases are expected to maybe launch as soon as 2026. So the great thing about supercomputers, right? We've seen it in the past. You don't have to have the full supercomputer built at once. You can build it in portions, just because these supercomputers are just supercomputers put together, to make even a better supercomputer. So it seems like we're going to start to get in phases. And this is something, if Microsoft has some form of AI event, I'm excited to learn more about it as we kind of hear more from Microsoft themselves. This supercomputer is actually so big that there are reports saying that OpenAI are considering alternate sources of power, such as nuclear. And we've known that right now, maybe not the biggest challenge, but one of the current short-term challenges affecting the data center market is the need of how can we power this overall growth in supercomputers and of data center solutions, as you need maybe more power for the chips themselves, more power to cool the system, right? Because if this is a million GPU system, you're going to need to cool it one way or another, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be liquid cooling or some other alternative of liquid cooling, because air cooling is not going to be enough. The report also says, like I mentioned, that there's potentially using this phase of design to move away from reliance on Nvidia. The reports claim that OpenAI wants to avoid using Nvidia's infinite band in Stargate, and OpenAI claims it would rather use Ethernet cables. And it seems like, based on the report right now, that this major dependency loss is just going to be on Nvidia's networking solution. But this makes sense to me, and if you have been watching this channel, it might make sense to you. It's something we covered. So for those that are not familiar, here I'm going to look at GTC financial Q&A session. And Jensen, the CEO of Nvidia, mentions that, hey, look, right now, Ethernet is not great for AI. So some of you might be wondering, hey, Jose, why is OpenAI and Microsoft gonna not use, or it's gonna use Ethernet if it's not great for AI? Jensen says that you can't change the facts, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason why Ethernet is not great for AI, but you can make Ethernet great for AI. In the case of the Ethernet industry, it's called Ultra Ethernet. So in about 3 to 4 years, Ultra Ethernet is going to come, and it will be better for AI. But until then, it's not good for AI. So if Jensen is right, and normally he is right, we do see that the Ethernet networking solutions is the future for AI. It's not the future, it's not the current best product, but in the next 3 to 4 years, and we saw that this Stargate supercomputer is expected to be built out in a multi-year time frame. So by then, it seems like OpenAI is betting that the Ethernet networking solution is going to be the best type of solutions for AI. And this is pretty much what Jensen mentioned as well. So again, sometimes when we read these reports, some might be fearful that, hey, look, Nvidia is going to lose its reliance, its dependency, it's going to lose its kind of moat in the networking solution. And I don't think that's the case. I think in 3 to 4 years, since Jensen already believes that the Ethernet is going to be the best solution for AI, they're most likely working on some Ethernet solution that they will be able to sell with their products 3 to 4 years from now. So Jensen always seems to be ahead of the game here. And he pretty much kind of mentioned this during that Q&A financial analyst session. So that's pretty much all I have here for this episode. I thought it was a pretty great update on this supercomputer that just was announced I guess, a few hours ago, based on the reports. And like I mentioned earlier on, I am super excited for this AI race in technology. We're evolving at such a rapid pace, and I can't wait to see what the future within the next 5 year holds. Obviously, there are going to be certain segments where maybe people or consumers might be like, "Hey, look, AI didn't really do much for us, but AI is working in the back end and it's going to be creating some cool products." So, in my next episode, which I expect to release tomorrow, I'm going to take a closer look at one company that I see so many people be bearish on, and it's making me very, very bullish. And it's definitely a top play in the AI space, especially in forms of autonomous robotics and autonomous vehicles. If you can guess that company, let me know in the comments below. Take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.